Hi guys, it's early in the morning and I thought the lighting was so pretty, and I have just trimmed up all my topiaries in the topiary garden. So I thought I'd better get out here before they get shaggy again and show you how neat things are looking. So these are my 4 original ones in the back. Those are the big ones that I made from 1 boxwood each. And the one in front, the smaller one, was made from a cutting, so that's a more recent one. And some of them I'm trying to add some more balls on. This one was originally just a 1-ball topiary, and I'm hoping that I can get another ball formed down here. Let me zoom in on that. It's a little hard to see with the green on green. But I'm working on that. But I have taken a couple days and gone around with my just a regular pair of scissors and trimmed everything up. And this one needed a lot more soil over here. And I've sprinkled some alyssum seed in with the gravel. But they're looking very neat, and I love how it's lots of fun, and it's very relaxing to go around and shape up your topiaries. So, and topiaries are easy, guys, if you've never done it before. You just keep cutting until you like the shape. And this has taken me, these are probably 3 years old, and my other ones are maybe 2 years old. And it does take some time to fill in. They look ugly before they look pretty. And here are the other ones over here. We've got a lot of activity at the bird feeder. It's always very busy in the morning. But I do have an Alberta spruce here, which just, I don't need to shape up at all. It just grows in a conical shape. And it's just a nice little accent. But most of my topiaries are boxwoods. So I've shaped them up. This one is starting to look like a ball. I hope you can see the green on green. But I have a lot of pots that have the alyssum growing. This is just seed that I sprinkled out. And a lot of the topiaries are accented with some violas. And that kind of starts along here. And those self-seeded from last fall. So those just seeded themselves. They're the Johnny Jump Up kind. Aren't they beautiful? I think they're really gorgeous on a green background. But these topiaries got so shaggy and full this year that they're really starting to shape up. So I hope you can see that. Let me back up so I can tell you about these 3. These 3 right here, this one and this one here. I'm trying to grow a 3rd ball in the middle. I think this is too big of a stretch. I only have about 2 little sprouts here, so I'm not sure it's going to happen. But we'll see. It's a work in progress. But these 3, this one, and this one, were all 1 boxwood. And the same thing here. I'm trying to add another ball. There's quite a long stretch here between the 2 balls, and I do have a little bit of foliage growing here, so we'll see. I'm hoping to get a 3rd ball on each of those, but those were originally, let me get another angle where it's not so much green on green, but those 3 were originally 1, and I just chopped it up. It was quite brutal. There, that's a better view of these 2. And they looked quite terrible the first year, but now they're actually forming into topiary. So topiary is very rewarding. And a lot of people tell me that the 3 balls over here are their favorite. I just have 3 round globes of boxwood there. Those were also from cuttings. So this was a cutting. These 3 were 1. This might have also been part of 1. I don't think this one was probably also split. from another one. And then we have some alyssum that's a little bit farther along. This is a dwarf Alberta spruce, and this is not doing so well. It's not that happy. It could be that it's overpotted. Sometimes if you put a small plant in a big pot, it's just not a good idea. So I don't know, I may have to end up replacing that, but goodness knows I always have lots of boxwood cuttings. And then let me take you over here. This is such a pretty look right here. This is a better background to see my topiaries as well. But there's lots of Johnny jump up violas there. And that's turned into a nice little ball, one ball topiary. Also a cutting. This is a cutting that I decided just to make into a single ball. And this was a cutting from last year, so it's fairly new. These have gotten very thick. And I would say they're 2 or 3 years old. This is a brand new one. This was a cutting, and it just naturally was starting to take the shape of a 2-ball topiary. So as you can see, that's what they look like when they're a brand new cutting. And when I say brand new, it's I took the cutting last season, so it's a very young, new topiary that I'm developing. Look at this vignette, guys. I love the way that looks. And that also was just a branch that was cut off. Let me show you the bottom part. It's just basically a lollipop shaped topiary there with the violas in front of them. And unfortunately, once the heat comes in, those violas will die back, but they will set seed, and I'll see those violas again in the fall. So they've been wonderful. I think that's just going to be something that keeps reseeding itself. And I love the combination of the boxwood and the violas. And I remember, this is probably 3 years old now, my double stick lollipop. And I lamented about that it didn't have a good central leader, and that I had to put, kind of trim it up with two stems. And it's actually one of my favorite ones now. I really like the way that looks. So I think that's come out well. And as you can see, this is the year where they really thickened up. And I could talk forever about my topiaries. I have so much fun with these, and I find the trimming process so relaxing and rewarding. And it is something that requires patience, obviously. Takes a couple of seasons to get things looking the way you like it. And it does take a little bit of bravery. Here's an example of a new cutting. This was just a tall boxwood cutting, and I think it's also going to make a nice 2-ball structure. And you can always reshape things, but if you cut too much, it does grow back, especially in the spring. There's a lot of quick growth, but this is a good example of a brand new topiary. And if you just pinch off the last set of leaves, I do it with scissors, but you can also just pinch it with your thumbnail. You will get 2 more leaves, 2 more stems that come out. And that's how it becomes thicker like this, and creates a ball. So some of them look a little bit awkward. I would say these are in their teenage years. They're just kind of sprouting up, long and lanky. But if I can get these 2 to grow a center ball, I'll be really happy. But let me step back and show you the whole effect. I hope the lighting is good enough for you to see. But I'm really thrilled when you have a chance to trim them up. Now, just a note on trimming, it's always good to do it when it's overcast and cooler. You don't want it too cold where the new growth comes out and freezes off. And you don't want it too hot either, because that new growth will come and burn right off. It's the new growth that's sensitive to temperatures. So an overcast day is probably ideal. Springtime is an ideal time to do it. I do it, if there's a wayward branch, I just do it at any time. But for overall trimming, I do it a couple times a year, and I just make sure that I'm doing it in mild weather after some lush growth has happened. This is my newest baby, and when I tore out all the winter creeper, I found a little pot with this little boxwood cutting, and it grew just like this. I probably didn't even see it all of last year, so it was on its own. But look at how cute that is, guys. And actually it needs a little haircut. I have to come along here with my scissors and trim that off. And basically when you trim that off like this, just trim off the ends. I'll get my scissors to do the rest. Once you trim that back, you're getting double the growth coming back. And that's how I will make this little tiny topiary a thicker ball. Isn't that precious? And I repotted it with some violas, just one little sprig of it, and it's taken off. So guys, you can have lots of fun with this, and it doesn't have to be expensive. If you just start with a couple, you can end up with so many nice cuttings. And if you give it a little time and patience, look at what you can get. So thanks for joining me in the topiary garden this morning. And I hope you have a chance to make some topiaries yourself. It's so much fun.